Okay guys, so I want to do a quick review of graphing on a coordinate plane. So first of all, the axes, it's really important to know that. So the X is the horizontal axis going from left to right, and the Y is the vertical axis up and down. So we know that a coordinate is written as X comma Y. And we think about the x-axis like a number line. So at the origin, so the origin is our 0, 0 point. So it's called the origin, and it's 0, 0. So for the x-axis, if you go to the left of the origin, think about it like a number line, it's negative. To the right of the origin, it's positive. And then for the y-axis, you can think about it as like the surface of the water. If you're above the water, you're positive. If you're below the water, it's negative. So one thing that you want to think about with coordinates is the quadrants. So we start up here in the top right corner. And since we are to the right on the number line, it's going to be a positive x. And then it's also above water. So the y is positive as well. So both coordinates will be positive here. As we move around counterclockwise, that means we're going to go to the left. This over here is quadrant 2. And since we are to the left of the y-axis, we are going to have a negative x, and we are above the x-axis, so we have a positive y. So that will be positive here. And then as we move down into quadrant 3, it is just like quadrant 1 where they were both positive. So this time now we are to the left of the y-axis, so our x is a negative value. And we are under the water, or below the x-axis, so our y is a negative value as well. As we move over into the last and final quadrant, the bottom right corner, we're to the right of the y-axis, so we are going to have a positive x, but we are still below the x-axis. We're under the water, so we're going to have a negative y. So that's a reminder about quadrants. Now, when it comes to graphing equations, we need to be looking at both the x and y. So what I try to do is always start at the origin. So I'm going to start here at the origin. And to graph point A, I look at the x first. So it says -2. So that means I have to go to the left 2, 1, 2. And then it's positive 5. So I have to go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's point A. And then point B, I have 4. So that's positive. So I'm going to go to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 2 is positive. So I'm going to go up 1, 2. And I can also remember that if they're both positive, then they would be up here in quadrant 1. So I want you guys to go ahead and press pause and plot the rest of your points. Okay, so at this point you can go ahead and check your coordinates, make sure they're all right. So now let's work backwards. What if we have the opposite situation? We have the coordinates, we need to identify our points. We're going to do the opposite. So if I start here up at A, x always goes first. So how far did I have to go from the y-axis? How far did I have to go to the right? So I went 1, 2 to the right. So it's positive 2. And then I went up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So A is going to be 2, 7. What about, let's try another, B. So B, I'm over here, and I went to the left 1, 2, 3, 4 to get to it. So -4. And then I went up again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What about D? So D, here I am with D. So to get from my origin, I went to the left 1, 2, 3. And I went down 1, 2, 3. So I went left, I went left 3. and down 3. So finish yours up. Okay, so I went ahead and finished graphing the points, and you can go ahead and use the quadrant, your knowledge of the quadrants, to check. So D is down here in quadrant 3, so it should both be negative, good. F over here is in quadrant 4, so I know my X is positive and my Y is negative. So just double checking. So now you're all graphing masters. Good job, guys.